Coming up next, a Showtime original movie. An old woman's murder leads Albert Finney into a web of international intrigue. Endless Game on Showtime.
White flags of winter chimney.
The best of Coast to Coast.
Wearing truce against the moon.
The best performances.
In the mirrors of a modern bank.
From what People magazine called the single best music series on TV. The best of Coast to Coast. Thursday on Showtime.
For Super Dave, bullseye's not the word.
We don't allow wagering on the compound, obviously.
With Kim Carnes. And Doug and the Slugs, this Super Show is on a roll.
Stay with me.
They say Super Dave was born in a trunk.
Look out below.
Will his log climb into oblivion, splinter all previous records?
It's a little tougher than I thought.
On the next all-new episode of Super Dave.
Premiering Friday on Showtime. Russia's best cop is teaming up with Chicago's finest to capture a deadly killer.
Cooperation. Sure. Whatever you say, Gumby.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. James Belushi. An exclusive you won't see on HBO or Cinemax.
You did not make it, Victor.
He killed a Chicago police officer. Chicago gets him first.
I have my orders. Move!
Red Heat. Saturday on Showtime.
Help my daughter to find that tiny, helpless baby that continues somehow to elude her.
The baby of the prophecy. The one that will destroy you.
This child must be taken beyond the boundaries of our village, all the way across the great river to the Daikini Crossroads. Who'd do that?
It's an epic adventure with an unlikely hero, Willow, a 3'4" man who must protect a child marked for death by a wicked sorceress. Directed by Ron Howard, Willow is based on an original story by executive producer George Lucas, creator of Star Wars, which won 7 Oscars and was the #2 box office hit of all time. Set in a mythical place and time, Willow is the perfect stage for a gaggle of creatures large and small, and the spectacular special effects George Lucas is famous for. Effects which earned Willow an Oscar nomination.
I don't make special effects movies. I make movies about people, and in order to tell a story, I have to use special effects in order to create the environments.
In fact, over 400 special effects, all created by Lucasfilm's own Industrial Light and Magic company.
The effects broaden the palette of filmmaking.
5-time Oscar winner Dennis Muren supervised the special effects in the fairy forest scene, where Willow meets the fairy queen Sherlindria.
She's sort of a haunting figure. She's sort of a gaseous creature that you could say occasionally appears when necessary in the forest. Because she shot separately against the black, we're photographing her greatly overexposed. So she's practically like you're looking into the sun. And then we're shooting her in slow motion, so she moves very fluid and magically. And then her costume is very lightweight silks that are being blown by fans hidden all around her. The lights are being dimmed up and down in order to make her a little more difficult to see.
By moving the camera on a crane, Sherlindria herself appeared to move. Her image could then be superimposed on any background.
How do you know my name?
Elora Denon told me. Elora Denon has chosen you to be her guardian.
Me?
Yes. She likes you.
Other actresses were filmed in the same way to create the tiny floating fairies. 2 tiny 9-inch men called brownies guide Willow on a journey fraught with perils of all kinds.
We don't want you to think of them as neat special effects. We want, hopefully, the audience to feel transported into a time when incredible things happened and were taken absolutely for granted by everyone around them.
Willow, from the magical minds of Ron Howard and George Lucas, this month on Showtime.
My name's Howie Mandel, and I just did a special for Showtime, a stand-up special, all new material. I'm real excited about it, and I want to ask you what you think of it.
Well, I thought it was fine. Why?
That's really all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Hooray for Howiewould, premiering February 3rd exclusively on Showtime. It's Showtime's Top 10 exclusives, movies, original comedy, music, specials, and much, much more.
I might be a star, and boy, I'd be raking in the dough, boy.
It's January. Mississippi Burning, Fresh Horses, Messenger of Death, Jonathan Winters and his traveling roadshow, The Endless Game, an all-star tribute to Woody Guthrie and Leadbelly, Adventures in Babysitting, Stakeout, Showtime Championship Boxing. It's Showtime's Top 10 exclusives.
My father is simply an innocent man who is unjustly accused.
Bill Harris in Hollywood, and whether you remember her in The Arms of King Kong or in The Arms of Jack Nicholson, winning an Oscar for Tootsie or breaking your heart as Frances Farmer or Patsy Cline, she's Jessica Lange. 4 Oscar nominations later, she now stars in Music Box. But first, Jessica guest stars right here on Showtime.
Well, what were you then?
How true is it that once upon a time, as one writer said, between destructive families and failed marriages, Jessica Lange's only good film relationship was with King Kong.
Oh, my God.
You remember that, right?
No, I don't remember that. That's an interesting quote. I've never thought of my parts in those terms before.
It's a strange one. It's a strange one. I'm interested to see that for your films, it was your 4th film with Postman.
Yeah.
You said really officially began your acting career.
Yeah. That was the first time I really had a part to play of any kind of scope. You know, something that was more than kind of just a caricature.
And did Nicholson help you with that?
Well, I mean, it was, you know, I mean, I give Bob and Rafelson and Jack, like, all the credit in the world for giving me that start. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for having confidence in me when nobody else did.
It was Nicholson who once said, while the movie had its detractors, Americans love sexy movies, but this film was sexual.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I think there's a great deal of truth to that. I mean, I think for one thing, it was kind of ahead of its time, mm-hmm. and I think people were just not ready to see that. And since then, there have been an awful lot of imitators, mm-hmm. you know, a lot of real daring scenes. But you know, what we did in Postman was something that I don't think had really been done before. We don't know.
There's always a way, Cora. If you stick together.
Now you're making some runs from us.
I didn't know what to do.
Hold on.
Just you and me.
What are you talking about?
I'm tired of what's right and wrong.
They hanged people for that, Cora.
I recall studying or researching and seeing that you studied everything you could get your hands on, looked everywhere to find the key to playing Frances Farmer.
Yeah.
But it came accidentally from a little home movie.
I know, it's funny how these little gifts fall into your lap. You know, you can consciously and deliberately make all these efforts to, you know, determine what it's going to be, and then usually what it comes down to is something almost inexplicable.
It gave you just a little movement or something.
Well, it was somebody amazingly came up with a home movie that had been done of her when she was at the group theater, or was at some summer stock theater. And it was just the way she walked toward camera. You know, there was a body language that, of course, I wasn't aware of because the only thing I'd seen is performances on film. But this was really her in its kind of like naked honesty. And in that moment, I got the clue to the character.
Sure worked. Speaking of characters, at what point did you realize that Tootsie was not just going to be an ordinary comedy, but was something special, both for you and for the audience?
About a month after it came out.
Did it take that long?
Yeah. I mean, I was just amazed. And maybe everyone was aware of how successful it was going to be while we were making it, or, before it came out, but I certainly wasn't. I mean, I was amazed. And what amazed me more was the recognition of my part.
I mean, it's all so complicated, isn't it?
What?
All of it. Truthfully, don't you find being a woman in the 80s complicated?
Extreme.
You and I wish just once.
What?
That a guy could be honest enough just to walk right up to me and say, hey, listen, I'm confused about this, too. I could lay a big line on you. We could do a lot of role-playing. But the simple truth is, I find you very interesting, and I'd really like to make love with you. Simple as that. Wouldn't that be a relief?
Heaven.
When I think of your roles, when you have someone like Patsy Cline, who's a cult heroine, a legendary status, that has to make it more difficult, doesn't it?
Well, you feel a commitment to them in an odd way. I mean, you feel a commitment to be as honest as you possibly can to that person. Whereas if you're just creating a role, you can, it all comes out of the imagination. But when I played Patsy Cline, I found something in her music that was just so liberating. There was something in the woman's voice that was just so powerful and so energizing that's what, sustained it for me. That's what carried that.
Broken song, empty words I know, and live in my heart all alone. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, I want you to get your coat. I want to drive you someplace for a drink. I want us to dance a while. Then I want us to get to know each other a lot better.
You want a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I do, baby.
Well, people in hell want ice water. That don't mean they get it.
Still true that Music Box, the new one, your most challenging role since Frances?
I think so. It's different from anything I've done. And it certainly touches emotional areas that I haven't played before. I think it works on a lot of levels. I mean, I like this film, and I don't say that easily because I don't like a lot of films. I mean, not even my own.
I know you've been disappointed in the past,
Yeah,
but
this one I feel real proud of, the work that everyone did.
Your Honor, the issue here is not whether my father lied on his application for American citizenship. That is a smokescreen. Yes, my father did lie. But he did so because he did not want to be repatriated by a communist government that either executed or sent to work camps all those who opposed it. My father was a gendarme, but he was not a member of the special section. My father worked as a clerk in an office. He requested that assignment. My father worked as a clerk in an office. He requested that assignment because he could not tolerate the brutalities that he witnessed his fellow gendarmes commit. My father is simply an innocent man who is unjustly accused. He is a man who is being punished by proxy by a communist government for an action he committed against representatives of that government 5 years ago. My father is a good man. He's the kind of man who is willing to put himself at risk against injustice. I know that, Your Honor. And before this trial is over, I will prove it to you. Thank you.
A trial lawyer always seems to me to be a stretch for anyone because it seems so unnatural to be a trial lawyer.
Well, when I decided to play this part, I wanted to do something that hadn't been done before because it becomes such a caricature. You see these.
It's Perry Mason.
Yeah, you've seen it so many hundreds of times, and it's always seems so kind of dry and unexciting to me. So what I wanted to do was find a different approach to it, and luckily inherent in the story is the emotional side of this woman because she is defending her father. So there it becomes much more complex. and much more interesting to play.
For those who don't know Jessica Lange, what's the one-word epitaph you told an interviewer you'd like on your headstone?
Mother.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about the kids. Today, though, a visit with Jessica Lange, whose film credits already include no fewer than 4 nominations for Academy Award. A powerful new drama called Music Box is her latest. There will be more. Bill Harris in Hollywood. We'll talk again.
This is a very serious relationship.
Yes, Garry, this is a very serious relationship.
Garry and Phoebe's very serious relationship leads to something very serious.
I know. You're thinking, tell me the details. All right, all right. Well, I'm really excited because I have a new girlfriend on the show this year. Pokey. That's me. She calls me Pokey because it's short for Pocahontas. Married? Married? I'm not getting married. Can anyone confirm that?
We really want to find out more about your girlfriend. She is a wild woman. Tell us about her.
Well, she's not wild. She's actually just a lovely and intelligent girl that I love very, very much. Honey, yes, I am serious. Will you marry me?
Of course I will.
Marriage comes to Sherman Oaks. It's Garry Shandling's wedding, Friday, February 9th.
I don't ever want you to forget it. The happiest moment of my life.
Because it's February, it's movies, it's Showtime. You'll see plenty of exclusive movies starting with Bette Midler.
You have hair that moves.
And Barbara Hershey, proving they're friends for life in Beaches. Con artist Corbin Burnson
I ain't going after him by myself.
plots a crime caper
We got him.
We lost him.
We found him. I'm going to kill him.
that leads to disorganized crime. While Dan Aykroyd goes outer space over Kim Basinger.
Oh, hi.
Kisses lead to My Stepmother is an Alien. Wartime. Some struggle with fear, while others are fearless. A time of good and evil. Ellen Burstyn stars in Hannah's War. Gene Hackman pulls no punches.
He's chasing the action.
In Split Decisions, while Michael Douglas battles with Glenn Close.
I'm not going to be ignored.
In Fatal Attraction. It's a whole month of exclusive movies plus lots more, like Burt Reynolds, hooking up with Teresa Russell in Physical Evidence.
Hold it.
It's a month that will steal your heart with exclusives you won't see anywhere else and more. It's movies. It's February. It's Showtime. Right after Endless Game, Charles Bronson in Messenger of Death. A crime reporter investigates a family's murder and uncovers a deeper plot on Showtime.
Showtime Exclusive Presentation.